The Tragedy of Ginger Baker, born Peter Edward Baker on August 19, 1939, in Lewisham, South London, is a complex tapestry of unparalleled musical innovation, self-destructive tendencies, and a life marked by conflict that extended beyond his death on October 6, 2019. As the fiery drummer of Cream, rock's first supergroup, Baker redefined drumming with his jazz-infused polyrhythmic style, earning acclaim as rock's first superstar drummer. His work on songs like Sunshine of Your Love and the iconic drum solo Toad set a benchmark for rock percussion, influencing drummers like Neil Peart and Stuart Copeland. Yet Baker's story is one of brilliance overshadowed by heroin addiction, volatile relationships, financial ruin, and a family rift that erupted after his passing. The query, "What really happened to Ginger Baker?" invites a dive into the chaos of his life, a man whose genius came at the cost of personal turmoil, leaving a legacy as turbulent as his double-bass drum rolls. Baker's early life was shaped by loss and rebellion. Nicknamed Ginger for his flaming red hair, he lost his father, a bricklayer, at age 4 during World War II's Dodecanese campaign. Raised by his mother, a tobacconist in a working-class neighborhood, Baker was a restless child, excelling at football and cycling until a taxi accident at 16 ended his Tour de France dreams. Drumming became his outlet, sparked by banging rhythms on school desks and encouraged by classmates. At 15, he sat in with a jazz band, discovering a natural talent honed under jazz drummer Phil Seaman. By 1962, Baker replaced Charlie Watts in Alexis Korner's Blues Incorporated, later joining the Graham Bond organization with bassist Jack Bruce. This partnership, marked by fiery chemistry and conflict, led to the formation of Cream in 1966 with Eric Clapton, a trio that would change rock history. Cream's meteoric rise was fueled by Baker's revolutionary drumming. His use of twin bass drums, inspired by jazz drummer Louis Bellson, and extended solos in Toad elevated the drummer from timekeeper to star. Albums like Disraeli Gears, 1967, and Wheels of Fire, 1968, sold millions, blending blues, psychedelia, and jazz. Yet Baker's volatile personality clashed with Bruce's, with Clapton often playing referee. The band's 1968 breakup, despite global success, was driven by these tensions and Baker's heroin addiction, which began in the 1960s and plagued him for decades. His ego and temper, as seen in the 2012 documentary Beware of Mr. Baker, where he struck director Jay Bolger with a cane, made him both magnetic and difficult. Baker's insistence on being a jazz drummer, not a rock star, underscored his disdain for the music industry, once barking, "I don't listen to music," comparing it to a bus driver vacationing by driving. Post-Cream, Baker's career was a whirlwind of ambition and instability. In 1969, he formed Blind Faith with Clapton, Steve Winwood, and Rick Gretsch, but the supergroup dissolved after one album. His 1970 project, Ginger Baker's Air Force, a 10-piece jazz rock ensemble, showcased his love for African rhythms but collapsed due to poor sales and financial mismanagement. Baker's move to Nigeria in 1971, documented in Ginger Baker in Africa, was a bold escape from London's drug scene. He built Batakota Arc Studios in Lagos, collaborating with Fela Kuti on Live 1971, and aiding Paul McCartney's Band on the Run 1973, though disputes over payment soured their relationship. Despite these achievements, Baker's heroin use persisted, and a near-fatal cocaine overdose in 1970 highlighted his fragility. The 1970s and beyond saw Baker's fortunes ebb. His hard rock band Baker Gurvitz Army, 1974 to 1976, fizzled after 3 albums. Financially destitute, he sold drugs to survive, leaving his first wife, Liz Finch, and their 3 children, Nettie, Leda, and Kofi. His second marriage in 1983 ended quickly, and a third in 1990 preceded a move to Colorado, where he pursued polo and lived on a ranch from 1993 to 1999. There he founded the Mile High Polo Club, blending jazz and polo with figures like Hunter S. Thompson. but visa issues from past drug charges forced him out. Baker's 1993 Cream induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and 2005 reunion concerts offered brief revivals, but his bitterness over royalties, Bruce and lyricist Pete Brown claimed most, lingered. Baker's later years were marred by health struggles and isolation. By 2013, he battled chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, from smoking, degenerative osteoarthritis causing chronic back pain, and heart issues requiring open-heart surgery in 2016. Living in a fortified South African compound, then Canterbury, England, with his fourth wife, Kudzai, Baker was frail, relying on morphine. As depicted in Beware of Mr. Baker, he performed into his 70s with Jazz Confusion, releasing Y? 2014, but his body betrayed him. On September 25, 2019, his family announced he was critically ill. He died peacefully in hospital on October 6, 2019, at 80, from COPD complications, as confirmed by daughter Nettie. The what really happened of Baker's story extends to the chaos after his death. A family feud erupted between Kudzai and Baker's children, who missed his funeral, claiming they weren't informed until the last minute. Kudzai, in a 2020 Daily Mail interview, suggested most of Baker's estate would bypass his children, sparking a will dispute. Nettie had previously accused Kudzai of coercive control, a claim Baker denied, leading to estrangement. Kofi, a drummer in a Cream tribute band, told Rolling Stone in 2018 that Baker was dead to me, citing his father's neglect and heroin-fueled ego. This rift, reignited by Baker's death, underscores the personal cost of his choices, a man whose genius alienated those closest to him. Ginger Baker's tragedy is multifaceted, a drummer who reshaped rock but couldn't escape his demons. His heroin addiction spanning 25 years dulled his empathy, as Kofi noted, leaving a trail of broken relationships. His financial recklessness, squandering Cream reunion earnings on horses, reflected a disregard for stability. Yet his musical legacy endures, from Cream's anthems to his Afrobeat collaborations. Baker's life, as filmmaker Jay Bolger said, shows what happens when you live without compromise, a path of brilliance, rage, and solitude. His story is a cautionary tale of talent untamed, leaving fans to marvel at his rhythms while mourning the man who couldn't find peace.